so. I don't know why, I need to know. But what I'm feeling now is like a mystery to me. The sky is falling and I'm wondering why. So many days and nights have passed me by without you standing here. There's nothing left for me to see. Forever comes and forever goes, but where it stops I'll never know. Stay a little while, there's nowhere we have to be. Cause I don't need to know right now. There's no one left beside me anyhow. Stay a little while, there's no one meant for you but me. Oh yeah. Sometimes I wish that I could fly away when the night is cold and I don't want to stay. I need to understand, the mystery is clear. So stay a while and hold out your hand. I do believe, I believe that soon I'll understand the way you're moving me. There's nothing left for me to fear. Forever comes and forever goes, but where it stops I'll never know, never know. But stay a little while, there's nowhere we have to be. Cause I don't need to know right now. There's no one left beside me anyhow. Stay a little while, there's no one meant for you but me. There's no one, no one. Oh, 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 yeah. I don't know how you move me so. I don't know why I need to know, but what I'm feeling now is like a mystery to me. Stay a little while, there's no one meant for you but me.
Good morning! Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. I am Debbie G. Big, huge thank you to James Twyman. Stay a little while. What a rad song. I mean, it just kind of gets you into the flow and the vibe. And it gets us into the flow and the vibe for a perfect day for a cup of grata with a shot of expression and 2 squirts of reality. And I have an excellent co-squirt. He's back. One of my favorite people in this world, somebody that my heart is just with all the time. Even if I don't see him all the time, doesn't really matter. Let me tell you more about him. It's a combat veteran. Boom. Cancer survivor, former addict, and has been paralyzed twice. After putting himself back together with yoga, he's dedicated his life to helping others to find their inner power through yoga, plant medicine, and understanding the body and the mind. He's a life coach, yoga instructor, mental health professional teaching somatic based therapies to other warriors in the community. And he's currently working on his PhD and a book called The Willful Warrior. Today, we're going to be talking also about the breathwork experiences that he has coming up. Welcome, without further ado, Leland Holgate Sr.
Thank you.
Leland,
Super
it's so good to
excited.
see you.
Yeah, you too.
Welcome. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Thanks for having me. My goodness.
You know, it's a divine pleasure to have you on, because you're just such a beautiful human being. I was blessed to meet you back in Arizona. You know, it's been a year.
I know, right? Time flies.
Time's fun. Time's fun when you're having flies. Just kidding.
I love
No,
it.
yeah, Cuppas Grata time. Yo. All right. So I don't want to get too back into the past, to the backstory, but I'd really love to go brush through some of the stuff you've been through. You've been through a lot, beyond measure, the most human beings. And what's exciting, Leland, is if you could sit here and tell us how to bust up trauma from a warrior's perspective, somebody who's been in combat, then us civilians have no excuses. Let me just put it that way, to get our shit together. I'm sorry, I just don't think so. So take us back a little bit. Tell us a bit about what the backstory is, and then we'll get into what you're doing now and how that you've healed the trauma. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know about healing trauma, how you've worked through, because I think I'm always working through stuff. Then I
Yeah.
re-traumatize. Do you re-traumatize yourself?
Yeah, it happens all the time. There's secondary trauma. There's all that stuff that happens, of course. I mean, even thinking about it sometimes, right? When you think about things that you've been through, boom, traumatic experience right there.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, going back to like my military service, it started before the military. It's something we talked about, right? Watching my dad as a special forces operative, and just seeing the switch in him, it was surreal to see the difference in him. And then once I went through military training myself, I completely understood like everything that they put you through.
Uh-oh, we lost your sound a little. Your sound, not lost it. It got kookly.
Oh, here, let me try these. Let's try.
Oh no. It's not.
Okay, how's that?
That's fine. We'll hear airplanes,
Okay.
but I'm really good with that. And I should say that Della says good morning, and my hubby says, Leland, good morning, Leatherneck. Nice to see you again, looking good.
Good morning. Thank you. Yeah, so earbud little thing going on there, but we're back at it. So it was interesting. Like after I went through the military training myself, I understood they're preparing you for the worst situations ever. So automatically when you're going through the training itself, you're already getting yourself set in these situations and positions that are far traumatic than you've ever experienced in your life. I mean, just survival school. Holy crap. They're holding AK-47s, chasing you with German shepherds, yelling Russian. So it's like they're acting like they are Russian soldiers coming after you. So they're literally putting you into the place and mindset, getting you ready for what you're about to see yourself.
Can I jump in there?
Yeah.
Something feels so brutal about that, that we fight like that we fight each other like that we have to literally train young men to go out and be freaking militia. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
Jesus. But I have to also say, but how grateful we are that you did do that and that you did fight for us. So, but wow, I mean, my heart's just sitting here going, wow, that's so much to go through when you're young.
It is. Yeah. I mean, you imagine you're 17 years old, getting yourself ready to go. And in the moment you graduate high school, off into the real world, or their real world.
No, I can't, but tell me all about it.
Yeah. So it was, it's crazy. Of course, you go through a lot of the training experiences, and that already like completely shifts who you are as a person. The one thing the military is the best at is brainwashing. They break you all the way down and make you nothing, and then they build you back up the way they want you. So after you come out of that whole experience, you realize that you are a reactionary being now. You try to be responsive, but they have taught you to react to certain things and to take action. Yeah, so that's literally what they're doing through military training, is making sure they wipe away everything from the first 18 years of your life, and then they want to build you back up the way they need you to be. That person that reacts on a split, decision and makes the right choice to go towards whatever they have to go towards. So it's crazy. Once you look back on it, is when you actually get to see the full scope of it. Because of course, when you're in it, there's no way for you to recognize what's going on. You're totally in it.
Okay. So I'm just sitting there with you and just like, wow. So I imagine that was something, but the thing is, you went to war.
Yes. Yeah. So that's when everything changes and everything shifts. Of course, the moment that you hear the first shots, the moment that you can feel the impact from something, even in the distance, or just knowing that you are now moving 17 miles over the Albanian border, which is where we were during the whole Yugoslav conflict. And just knowing that you are now entering enemy boundaries, you're moving into an area, like everything inside of you starts to shift. You hone in, you focus, all that training that they taught you comes right back, flushes you right in the face, and you are set in this whole different mindset. So it's very interesting to go from training to practical application. There's not too much of a difference, except for, of course, now that you're in live action, there's no more training situations. There's no more, hey, let's take a pause and tell you what you did wrong here. You're in it. Mistakes are for those, unfortunately, that are no longer with us. And that's the biggest piece, right? Is not so much what you're going through, but the fact that when you come back, you always come back minus somebody, or you always come back missing somebody. Not everybody comes back with you that you went with is one of the biggest things,
I'm sitting here with you and listening to this, and what I'm feeling is I'm imagining what that must be like there. And then I'm thinking to myself, how does someone who's been in that extreme thing, something that none of us can imagine unless you've actually done it, because that's what experiences do. They teach you that. But how do you integrate back into life? And this is the part where I think that is so fascinating, because you have done some work. We all know what happened with our Vietnam vets and vets after that. But what was your experience when you got home? And what did you do? I mean, all of a sudden, you're not in combat anymore.
Right. And that actually is why I started the nonprofit, because when I came back, I experienced what a lot of us experience when we come back: absolute madness and chaos. Because you go from this purpose-filled individual, right? You have all your ideals, and I joined for idealistic reasons. And then after training, you're like, well, none of that crap matters. So all I care about is this guy and this guy. So now your whole purpose is making sure you get these two guys home with you. You know what I mean? So that's your whole purpose is literally being a teammate and making sure that the mission gets accomplished, but more than the mission, that you bring everybody home with you, whether dead or alive, to make sure everybody comes home. So that purpose becomes that brotherhood that the military is, right? Or sisterhood, because, we have our female companions as well. But my goodness, when you come back, it's like this immediate, it's like go, 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 go. You run a marathon, right? And then all of a sudden it just stops. And of course, the mind is going crazy. You feel this big hole in the center of you where that purpose was, right? Looking out for your brother to your left or your right. and the mind will start to play tricks on you. You're not worthy. You know, you're nothing anymore. You used to be something. Now look at you. And all of those things start to play. And then of course, all the mental images come back, and the video and the smells and the sounds, and they continue to revisit you. And it becomes this kind of dance of repression, and maybe peeking at it every now and then and not knowing what to do with it. So you just isolate. It's typically what all of us do. We come back, we isolate, we don't know what to do. We don't fit, because they don't teach us how to come back. They only teach us how to go and how to fight. And then when we come back, we're completely lost, which is why so many of us commit suicide every day. It's crazy.
Let's talk about that for a minute. But let me get this straight. We don't offer a reintegration program for our vets whatsoever. What the hell?
There's something. Yeah, exactly. See, now you feel me? And they
Jesus,
they say they do. It's called the TAPS program, Transition Assistance Program, right? So the TAPS program, just to let you know, is supposed to be that reintegration program. Well, for me, 2 weeks before I got out, all I had to do was literally go to these classes where I could fall asleep at the back of the room, and they're giving you bullet points on some PowerPoint presentation. Like, what the hell is that for a transition program to come back into the States? Like, 2 weeks of classes and listening to somebody tell me what I should do instead of walking me through. Like, you guys walked me through over 6 months of intensive training to go. And then you come back and I'm going to get 2 weeks of lip service and like some projector slides and a video or whatever else. Like, what the hell is that? Like, how am I supposed to just put everything down that you trained me and everything I went through after 2 weeks of just talking to me? Like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever, which is why now that's why I feel like it's our job to take that over.
Warriors for Life, America. And
yes.
that is why that you did do this. And that's what I love. So my understanding from our last interview, you got back and you got into some, I mean, your body physically, your back, was it your back that was, you hurt you broke something, neck. That's
neck.
right.
Yeah, it was
your neck.
Contusion at C1 and C2, paralyzed from the Adam's apple down.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know, and you know, that when we are not when we don't handle our stuff, and you have that extreme of trauma going on, your our body will start screaming at us. So what I feel right now is these experiences that you had are almost like your body was screaming at you, saying, you're paralyzed. Did you feel paralyzed as a human?
Yeah. I felt paralyzed as a human. I felt like I didn't have any worth or value anymore. Like I was absolutely useless, so to speak, like void, null and void.
Okay. That's seriously like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you heal yourself through the trauma of injury?
That's, the biggest piece and this is what we work with too. The biggest piece that I found, and I want to say I was fortunate, not lucky, was the mindset piece. Because when I was there laying for 2 days and I couldn't feel anything below my neck, of course, all of the guilt and all the shame came in, and the, the feelings of not being worthy, and just bawling my eyes out, asking my friends to kill me because I didn't want to deal with this. I'm 20 years old and my life is useless now. So just the loathing and the, constant whining and crying and everything. I mean, rightfully so. But it got to this point where finally, when the doctor walked in on the last time and told me, you just have to kind of wrap your head around the fact that this might be the rest of your life and you have to move forward from that point. And something inside of me just said no. And I literally said it out loud. And as soon as I said no, I got this tingle right down in my brachial plexus, which is, a big grouping of nerve endings. And it was amazing. Like that right there was everything I needed to start the process of healing, not just from the physical trauma, but from the mental trauma as well. Cause I realized, holy crap, that was 2 days of solid bawling your eyes out, dude. Like you didn't want to be here anymore. Everything had shifted. Like I didn't want any part of this world anymore. And just in that split second, the feeling that I got in my mind mentally and also through the body was everything I needed to see. I was like, okay, most of it is right here. Everything is up here first. Then everything after that follows. If I can manage this, if I can get this wrapped around the fact that all of those were just experiences, and now I'm ready for more experiences because I don't want those anymore, then I can move forward. Then I can heal. Then I can start to create the life that I want to. So that was the whole process, and starting was the mindset, of course.
Oh, you know what? You're just a badass. I swear to God. Listen, y'all, who are listening right now, I want you to get this through your skulls. Did you hear what he said? He has been through stuff that we cannot imagine unless you've been there yourself. Please take a minute and soak it in. If you're sitting there because you don't want to be here anymore, Leland, I have been in such a victim state, crying I don't want to be here. The life sucks. I don't know why it's so bad. And I didn't go. I'm sorry. Not that my trauma wasn't trauma, babe, but it was like, not that. Not that. My God. Jeez Louise. Do you see, guys? If that's some serious business. We didn't even talk about, y'all, what Leland has seen at war. We didn't talk about what Kane Marzola has seen at war. I've sat with these guys. That night that we were sitting a year ago or so, we were all sitting at that lake, and we were all just communing and being together, and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to you guys, and I'm watching tears come down their face as they talk about some of these stories, like some serious stuff, and how they've overcame it. I mean, I don't know how you guys don't tear up at this. This is like the biggest gratitude moment in the world right now. There's hope out there for you.
There is. And it's funny too, because you mentioned that last year, and then all of a sudden I started feeling it well up inside of me. It's something so beautiful to be able to share those experiences, especially for me and Kane, to be able to share those experiences, and whether we get emotional or not, just being able to talk to them, about them, and being able to share them with you and everybody else. I think we've noticed is it's the biggest way to help everybody else realize, like, you can do this too. I promise you can do this too. Even if you haven't been through what we've been through, if you haven't been trained the way we've trained or been through the life that we've been through, I swear to God, you can do this.
That's right. Our Warriors for Life America are the biggest inspiration you're going to hear today. This is Leland Holgate Sr., everybody. If you want to be if you want to heal your life, do you understand it's possible? That's what he's telling you today. Right now, I'm going to put a link in the chat because you've got a free, and I'm going to shift for a minute. I'm going to do a little bit of a promo here, okay? And then I see the messages here. I'm coming right over to these messages, and I'm going to check everything out. But first, what I'm going to do is put into the chat the link for your breath work. And while you're telling them about that, I'm going to grab the link, which I thought I did. It's coming, guys. All right, promo time.
I love it. Yeah, thank you for doing this. Like, tomorrow is going to be absolutely amazing. And while she's putting it up, it's going to be 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And it is one of the biggest pieces to my healing, right? I said mindset. Well, how do you shift mindset? You shift mindset by changing your state. If you ever thought about it, like, you have those moments, right, where something happens or somebody pisses you off or whatever has happened, and now you're activated. Now you're triggered or angry or sad or whatever else. And then you try in that state to make changes. What happens? It's just like a car or a bulldozer, right? You just dig right in even further. It's like you try to change the problem in the same state and come up with a solution in the same state as the problem was created in. And then all you're going to do is just create more and more frustration, right? It's like beating your head against the wall. That's never going to work.
Yeah, it doesn't
so
work.
With a lot of these breath techniques that we're going to go over tomorrow, it literally shifts the physiological state of your body. So it's not just a mind shift. It's also a physiological shift, lowering cortisol and adrenaline, taking down that norepinephrine, which is what steals the glucose out of your blood to shoot your blood to your hands and your feet, right? So you can run from whatever perceived threat that your body thinks is happening. It also at the same time raises all of your happy hormones, right? Your oxytocin, which is your love hormone. Your dopamine, which is the reward hormone. That's what kicks off every time you get the little ding that somebody liked your message on Facebook. And then serotonin. Yeah. Serotonins are the
y'all know that's true. Come on now, own it.
You know it. I mean, it still happens to me too. You get a ding, somebody liked your stuff.
Totally, just love that. Yeah, right. Completely. Oh my God. Okay, let me just, really quick. I want to get to the messages. Just Jody, good morning. Jody Cortez out in Palm Springs. I love you. He wants us to check out his CD on PTSD. I absolutely. And Josie and Jim have it as well. And I love that. Josie and Jim have one of the recovery centers that helps our vets out over in Rancho Mirage. And it's called Advanced Therapeutic Services. Yeah, it's fantastic. And Jody, you're an amazing musician and incredible being. Thank you for supporting the show today and supporting us. And Joe had a question that kind of got answered. He said, I was curious how much sharing your journey has helped your own personal growth.
That is an epic question and the best question, Joe. It has been the focal point and the center point of my healing journey. It's this amazing thing that I've fallen on. When you can share your story over and over again, you start to, basically what happens is, and I'll start nerding out just a little bit here, but basically what happens when you bring up a memory, 50% of the genetic material of that memory is immediately changed, right? So if you can constantly be sharing your story in the capacity that I'm doing each and every time you bring up that memory, you're changing the DNA that is surrounding that memory. And what does that mean? That means you're also changing the genetic response from your body. So whereas in the beginning, me talking about my story, I'd get flush. You could see me turning red. I'd start crying. I'm sweating. All the things are coming because the body is reacting like it actually is happening again. So when you can share your story in this capacity, oh my God, you notice the fact that you take your power back over whatever happened to you. Because now you can be separate from it, look at it, hold it, show other people, tell other people about it, and then place it back down for the next time you need to share that without it actually welling up inside of you.
Oh, God, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I agree with you that it is true. And what's interesting is our body does, this is how powerful our mind is. If you're just replaying your trauma over and over and over and over, you're just redoing it because you're stuck in a victim mindset. And what I love about this is that there is a way to break away from the victim mindset. Victim mindset leads in shame and all these things, these self-damning things we do to ourselves leads to so many things, addictions and health issues. I've had all of those, but I didn't have, I didn't go to war to do it. I just sit and look at myself and go, really? Oh God. I mean, like for real, it's like, do you know the thing I put on my trauma, like it was, not saying that not all trauma is trauma, because as kids we do process it like that as kids, but we're no longer children, so we don't have to do that. Shifting this mindset is done through breath, and I love this because that's your life force. It's the first thing we take, last thing we take. It's your chi.
Yep.
Kimberly, the link is also in the description of this video. And if you go, it's also a Facebook event I'll look and see if I can get better information to make sure, or I'll just message you or something. But it's definitely out there. Leland, you've been through addiction, and one of the things I love about you is not only are you willing to talk about it, but you're also let's talk about how plant medicine has helped with that, because you guys, there's so I will, Jody, for sure. I'm going to message you. Anybody else, if you're watching the replay, the link for the breath work is there in the description. Oh, Bonnie wants to know, can you talk about how writing your book has helped you somatically?
Yeah,
I guess
yeah, absolutely.
We're going to shift. We'll go back, you guys, to talking about plant medicine and some of the other tools that Leland has also used that I'm excited about. But yes, please, let's talk about what Bonnie would like to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Bonnie, that's a really great question too. So writing, when I'm writing, and I mean, I will use the keyboard, but I love to write, right? The tactile sense of writing, just that does something for you. And whenever we track the brain's energy, we notice this amazing rising of energy that comes all across all sectors of the brain as you're writing. And they've actually tracked the energy traveling down your hands as you're either typing or as you're writing. So that's like the best question ever, as it being a somatic based therapy, because it quite literally is. So you have the aspect, like I said, of when you tell your story, or even when you recount the story as if you're writing a book, you're changing the genetic memory around that. On top of the fact, as you're writing, as you're pouring this out of you, you are literally releasing that. So if you're thinking thoughts and then putting that into action, then you are literally taking it from inside of yourself and pushing it to the outside of yourself, making sure that it's something that you can see instead of something that you have to own. Because I think that's one of the biggest things, even for me, and we all do it, is we look at what we've been through and we feel like we have to own it. Like we have to hold on to it like it's a badge. And if I don't hold this badge, I'm not going to know who I am. And if I don't know who I am, nobody else is going to know who I am.
Damn, that was huge. Oh my God. So you can see it, not own it. So it comes out of you.
Exactly.
Wow.
You can look at it as what it should be, as an experience in your life that is meant to guide you to where you want to go. Because, you said it yourself, right? When you think about it, mindset, what does that mean? You are setting your mind to that task. So it's either something that's happened already or something that's in the future, or you can be here and now and be present with yourself. It's just up to us where we want to set the mind. And if our mindset is constantly re-traumatizing ourselves or thinking about the things from our past, then that's where our mindset is going to be. And then our body is going to follow suit and give you all the chemical compounds that are going to come along with that mindset.
Exactly. I'm just loving this. Are you, audience, are you not loving this? This is just juicy freaking awesomeness. Let's talk about when a person is working through, they know they're working through their healing, but they can't really get reconnected with themselves. They're fractaled. Every trauma, I feel like that everything is sort of like a little fractal. And as we heal, we start putting our pieces back together, making us a wabi-sabi. I mean, in the Japanese, they pour gold into, they don't throw their ceramic away. They use gold to mend it, to make it artwork. So you're all a wabi-sabi. So, right? We're wabi-sabis.
I love that.
Seriously, like that's what we are. So here's the gift. Leland's telling you the gold that you need to use to put yourself back together, to make yourself that beautiful piece of art that you are. All the pressure from the coal, all the pressure that it takes to make a diamond, all those facets of you. And what I've heard you say is simply, there's another way to do this, and another way to see the experiences you've been through, all of them, and process them differently, because you're changing your mindset. You're setting how your mind works. But there are people who are struggling out there, Leland, with getting reconnected with themselves. Like they're so separate from the traumas, the whatevers. They're just like stuck. They're like, I can't reconnect with me no matter how hard I try. I've tried breath work. I've tried everything. I still have not gotten in touch with my heart conscious space. I don't know how to be here in the now. I only know how to be back here or up there in fear, flight, fight, freeze, fawn. I'm going to jump somewhere and not be present because I can't handle that. If that's you, Leland, tell us, how in the heck do we help these ones? I know. Do you? I know.
Absolutely. So for those that really had that hard time disconnecting from self or trauma or the stories that we tell ourselves, there are these beautiful things called plant medicine. And for myself, it was, the journey started pretty much right after the military, started with marijuana, and then moved on to psilocybin. And it's amazing. It literally is a medicine. All of these things are quite literally a medicine, in the fact that they can help you set aside all of those, the constant tumultuous thoughts, right? Like you're talking about, where it's just like emotional quicksand. The harder I fight, the deeper I go, right? I can't get away from all of these things. And that's what's beautiful about so many of these plant medicines, is they give you the chance to disconnect from the physiological high or low that we're feeling at that point in time, and allow ourselves to really dive deep onto the inside and reconnect with self. And that's what I've noticed through any plant journey that I've been on, is any journey that I've gone through, basically the medicine has given me the message that I am the medicine. And that's the beautiful gift that all of those things are. So there's many of us out there, trust me, especially us, some of us combat vets, that is their change. I've seen some of our troops when they come back, that same thing. They just cannot get it together. They cannot focus. And then they go through one ayahuasca ceremony or one Bufo DMT ceremony, and the light that you see come on in their eyes is just crazy real, and like fills my heart with joy even thinking about it right now.
And I love this because we have sat with Zappy Zaplin with that did the movie Reborn. We did he also did the reality of truth, which was amazing. And this was all about how the plant medicine journeys and how that they've helped people to rediscover the essence of who they truly are, which has nothing to do with the physical essence of who you are here. There's also studies being done all over. Our government's known this, but they're doing it. And Yale and John Hopkins has some of the best ones right now about the studies behind psilocybin and the fact that it's repatterning the brain. It's literally repatterning the brain. It's crazy. People who have not been able to be helped because of depression, severe depression, suicidal, not being able to be helped, are now finding freedom. Here's the kicker. If you've been at war like Leland, and you have and it helps to repattern that, do you see the release? I mean, it's just huge. Oh, hold on here. So right on the money. Did Leland have a bicep workout video? Just say. John, just saying. Just saying. Leland, I mean, right? Jody, you got a point, man. You got a point. Really, seriously, great form. And
thank you. Wow. I've been back on my stuff.
Go. Oh my God. So the plant medicine is something that I highly encourage people, if you haven't.
My God, yes.
But get somebody that has experience, right, Leland? I mean,
Yes. Yeah, don't just go to your buddy's house on Saturday and think you're going to get a bag of mushrooms and all of you guys are going to find enlightenment. That's not how it works. It's like anything in life. There has to be intention behind what you're doing. And I have nothing against the party on the weekend or going out and having fun. Not saying I don't occasionally have fun, minus the ceremony side of things. But everything is intention, right? And you have to walk into that space intentionally. And if you're not in the right mindset as it is, you're not going to be able to walk into that space intentionally and give yourself the focus and care and attention and space to find everything that you need. And, one thing too, I want to make sure everybody understands is so many people are scared of it. And I get it. It's because it's been demonized by society. It's been programmed into us that they're drugs and they're bad and all these other lies that have come along with it. Also, it comes from the mismanagement and misuse of it as well, because if somebody has a horrible experience because they went off and did too many of whatever, then of course they're going to pass that on to you and it's going to scare the crap out of you. Keep in mind with psilocybin, actually one of the biggest things that we do with psilocybin is microdosing. You don't have to go all the way in if you don't want to go all the way in. You can start just by dipping your toe. And when I say microdosing, you're quite literally taking in maybe 0.25 or
That's
a
right.
half of a gram, right?
Right.
So you're taking in a very small amount, but what it'll do is exactly what we talked about before. Cortisol and adrenaline come down, norepinephrine goes down, and then all your oxytocin, serotonins, endorphins go flying through the roof. So that right there alone, you don't get the trip. So for those of you that want to look into microdosing, you don't get the trippy side. You just get the happy feeling out of nowhere, which is absolutely amazing. And we've noticed change as early as 2 to 3 days after getting somebody started on microdosing.
Totally. It's almost immediate. And do you use the lion's mane and the niacin with it? Do you do that combo?
Yes.
With the microdosing?
Yes.
That's what I had the best experience from that. And yes, I have done this and promise you y'all, this is a trip. And for anybody out there who's like kind of just like, what the heck? Go to Netflix and watch Fantastic Fungi, Fungi. We're going to have the director we're going to have the people from that on Women Rising. It's soon, so you get to hear some inside information, but please go watch that. Walt Thiessen watched that, one of my co-host, or he's Law of Attraction Today Radio, and he came back at me and said, all right, I just went, huh? It explains how the mushrooms work on our brain. It also explains how that we are all just fabulous fungi. We're just freaking, y'all just walking shrooms anyway. May as well tap in, have some fun with your cousin shroomer. I mean, people go, what the hell? They're talking about shrooms and ayahuasca. They're like talking their drugs and recovery at the same time. What the
hell? Right.
Oh my God.
Right. Yeah, I know. Based on society, it sounds counterintuitive, right? But we're talking about actual medicine.
Oh, bam. I'm going to, Bonnie, I just want to like reach through the screen and hug you. Please. She says, can you talk about ketamine therapy? Boom. I love that. I'd like to throw in really quickly, and then Leland, take it away. Here's what I'm going to tell you about what I know about the ketamine treatment. I have not done the treatment yet. I will be, because I think it's phenomenal. In fact, that's becoming more mainstream in the medical industry. Let me be specific. This is something that is already approved. Okay, ketamine is what that Zappi used with Lamar Odom in the documentary Reborn. There were 3 things. It was it was ketamine, daily practice, and ibogaine. Those were the three things to Lamar's healing process. Of course, the daily practice being the most important, period, because without daily practice, you're dead in the water. You can't do any of this. If you're going to bother to repattern your brain, you're going to bother to go through all that. Why would you not practice it every day of your life? How do you think Lamar became Lamar? He practiced. Wasn't he a basketball player?
What's that?
Was Lamar Odom a basketball player?
Yeah, he was a basketball player. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's how he became Lamar. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't like, was he football or basketball? No. Okay. So what I know is that it is a protocol. Ketamine is now a protocol in helping people through severe traumas, through severe things that have happened in their life, and it can be done in the beauty of your own home. There are some services out there that do that now with a virtual nurse, and you can also go to clinics and do it through IV. But I'm going to stop and let Leland take over because he knows more about it than I do. Because he knows.
You hit the main points, though. You hit the main points. It's absolutely amazing. It's a tranquilizer, and like you said, you are quite literally repatterning the brain, right? And you're not just repatterning the brain, you're resetting the autonomic nervous system, right? With the autonomic nervous system, we have two states that we live in. It's either sympathetic, which is what we're dealing with right now, right? Or you have parasympathetic, which is the more relaxed state of being. And for some of us that have been through lots of trauma, whether combat or not, of course, your autonomic nervous system is programmed more towards the sympathetic type, sort of things. You're either re-traumatizing yourself, you're not doing the practice, you don't have something going for yourself. So automatically the autonomic nervous system, the brain and everything else takes over and continues to re-traumatize you. So of course you're activated constantly. Your adrenaline, your cortisol is constantly flushing. You probably feel exhausted halfway through the day. If you can make it to lunchtime, you're absolutely exhausted because the body and the mind have just been running and running and running and running. So whenever you go through these and that repattern and shift happens, it quite literally tunes you back into the parasympathetic side or the relaxed state, which is where everything that we need to happen happens, right? Digestion, blood flow, everything that happens inside of your body that you need to stay healthy, to stay alive, happens inside of that parasympathetic, which is all turned off when you think of it, right? You can't have both of them on at the same time. If you're running from the tiger, your body doesn't need to digest the food that you just ate. You need to run from the tiger. So you can think of it in that way. And that's what these amazing, especially ketamine and ibogaine, that really helps with that pattern shift, right? And tunes you back in so that you can experience that parasympathetic side. And then, like you said, get practice. It's huge. Everybody loves to have the button, right? We're the Amazon society now. I love that. Boom, send it to me. Well, it doesn't work that way with this type of stuff. You know what I mean? You can't just go get the ketamine treatment or the ibogaine treatment or psilocybin treatment and it's done. Great. I hit the button. Now everything's going to be great. You have to practice. It has to be there. That's why we call yoga and meditation and breath work. It's all practice because we're all just making stuff up. And that's one of my favorite things about Dr. Joe Dispenza. He says that all the time. We're just making stuff up. So what are you practicing? Are you practicing what you have already been through? Or are you practicing what you want in your life?
Just drop that 1,000 mics on the ground right now. Boom. Seriously, Joe Dispenza, what a dude. I love him. But you're on point about all of this. Daily practices. And the cool thing is breath is something that you don't need a whole lot of training with, but you do need the intention and the focus with. And I'm curious, maybe we can take everybody through a short sample of what the breath might look like. That's going to be tomorrow, you guys. I put the link into the chat. I put one that in here. It is again. Okay, it's coming right now. Okay, I'm just going to put it in the chat. Let me know if this one's working because I went back to Facebook and grabbed it. So just let me know. Okay, and I'm going to let you take back over here and guide us through a sample of what is coming.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. Okay. So excited for this. Okay. So what we'll do is I'm going to take you through a few rounds of what's called Tumo breath or 9 breath. Okay. So it's all about awakening the fire and initiating that passion inside of yourself. And you will feel a definite shift in your persona and exactly how you feel right now. So just keep in mind as we move through this, I'll walk you through and then I'll give you an example and you guys can try the example with me. And then I will guide you through after I go through it myself and you guys see how this whole thing goes. So keep in mind, what we're going to be doing is a bit of warrior's breath. It's a very intentional breath. Okay. In and out through the nose for about 3 to 4 seconds, in and out. And it sounds like this. So that's what we're going to do. It's about 3 to 4 seconds of breath. Okay, I'm going to have you sit there for just a moment. We're just going to place our head down. And wherever you're at, you can sit up against the back of your chair so you have a little support. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to exhale all of our breath out like a spear, right? So it's going to be, and as soon as you force all of that air out, mouth closed, in and out through your nose. And we're going to take 9 of those rounds. On the 9th breath, we're going to hold at the very top. And at that breath retention, I want you to be present with how you feel, and you can let go whenever you want. You are going to feel a little loopy and lightheaded, and that is the intermittent hypoxia that we're doing, okay? We're basically raising the nitric oxide levels in your body, and amazing, amazing benefits happen. I can nerd out on that after we practice. So let's go ahead, and we're just going to sit back against the chair and just place your hands on your knees and just let your chin drop to your chest for a moment. Looking down gives the brain that signal that all is well, I'm safe, I'm right where I should be. And just for the moment, maybe notice your feet on the ground, notice your connection to the earth, notice the support that you have in the chair that you're sitting in, or your back up against the chair. Just become more present. And start to notice in the body as well, without judgment and without changing anything. Just notice where the muscles may be tense. Notice where the breath may be restricted. Notice everything in the body in this moment right now, just being present with yourself. Just allow the breath to be organic, no need to control it. And then very slowly start to lift your gaze. Just allow yourself to breathe. If you'd like to close your eyes, you can close your eyes, settle into the moment, and allow yourself to breathe. Just allow your shoulders to drop with every breath. Allow everything to just come into this moment here. And in just a moment, we're going to take a deep inhale and exhale everything out like a spear. From there, we move into our 9 breaths. But for the moment, just be here. Just be now. Feel the body. Feel your breath moving in and out through your lungs. Feel your seat on the chair. Being in on this present moment, here and now. And very slowly take an inhale all the way in, all the way to the top. And exhale, shoot it out like a spear. Inhale through the nose. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. And out. And in. Hold it at the top, all the way up. Hold it all the way up, all the way in. Purse your lips and very slowly start to exhale. And now just sit and allow that to be. Notice the shift inside of the body and the mind. Notice the attunement, the sounds from outside, recognizing that everything outside of you is created from the inside. And slowly start to come back, and let's go through one more round, just allowing yourself to breathe. Notice that feeling, notice the change. Let your shoulders drop. Now take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, shoot it out like a spear. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In, all the way to the top. Breathe in all the way. Hold it all the way. Let your shoulders drop. Release your tension. And when you're ready, purse your lips. Slowly exhale all the way out. Just let everything be. Notice and be aware. Notice that shift. Notice the feeling in the body. Notice the buzz and the vibration that you've created. Tuning in to those higher chakra points, those higher vibrations and frequencies that we all put off and tune into. And when you're ready, slowly bring yourself back. There we go. Man, even when I lead people through it, I always call it going to Mars. I go to Mars every time.
I would love to know from those in the chat what you experienced. Where'd you start and where are you now? Leland, that was freaking fantastic. And tomorrow you guys could do an entire session with Leland. And who is the person who's co-hosting with you?
Michael Ronan, who is an amazing martial artist, Qigong master, breath work, meditation specialist, and now business partner.
That is awesome. So I want to know about where does gratitude fit in, and where grateful beingness and appreciation in your life today?
Oh my God. Gratitude is at the top of the list. It's like mindset and gratitude continue to run neck and neck in a constant race, but they are right up there at the top. And it's funny too, because it goes to mindset, right? If I feel like I'm lacking, if I feel like I don't have everything that I want, then I'm going to act accordingly. And I'm not going to be grateful for the things that I have in my life. If I express that gratitude and I'm thankful for the family and friends that I have around me, thankful for the simple things, not just the big things. We all get attached to these big things and we think that that's where gratitude comes from. Like I'll be grateful when my joy comes in or my life partner finally shows up or all these other things. And that's just not the case. We create our life based on that mindset and gratitude that we have. So it is absolutely the center point and focus of my entire life is to wake up every morning, do my breath work, do my meditation, and immediately I write out 40 I am thankful statements in the morning, like right away. And it can be the simplest things. I'm thankful for shoes. Do you know 73% of the world has less than $10 in their bank account? So something as simple as $10, you can be thankful for $10.
I'm all about it. Gratitude. And the reason that I love what you just said is because you can find grateful beingness in anything. Appreciation is the flow of life. People talk about the law of attraction, but it's the law of gratitude, the law of appreciation that truly, but it's the state of being that you sit in now. Can you appreciate life where you sit? Because if you can't appreciate life where you sit, you aren't going to like it where you're going either. You're still going to be a ninny. Sorry.
Yep.
I was a fault-finding, complaining ninny.
Same here. How do you? Yep. I was that terminal, complaint.
Seriously, y'all listen to me right now. Right now, there is a breathwork event tomorrow with two incredible beings. You have just spent an hour with one. Ninny. It's like the word. I don't know where the word came from. I just know that I was a ninny, Samuel. And Samuel, I love you, Samuel. Everybody, this is so beautiful. Michael says, I love you, brother. Samuel says he's more centered now, and he loved it when you said everything around me is created within. And I'm loving this. The internal work is the connection to source. Absolutely. Elisha Starr, thank you for your service, she says. And Elisha, back at you. Thank you for your service, my beautiful being. And
Yes.
Bonnie said, this breath work that we just did and experienced was amazing, but we're going to get more of it tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And it's really super easy to join. All you have to do is go click the event link that I've got in the chat, in the description of this video. And if you are watching this and it's all done and over with, that's okay. There's a whole series of the breath work coming up. So please do that. Please love and follow everything to do with Warriors for Life America. And we're going to make sure that those are in the chat. If you have it, do it. Donate some money to Warriors for Life America, please, because we are here to be support and be of service to those who are also showing up and being of service. Bonnie says, love the 9 breath method. There's an unlimited amount of things to be grateful for. Since you mentioned a tiger, do you have a favorite book from Peter Levine?
I do not, but now I need to go get
it. I do not either, and now I'm gonna need that one. Bonnie, do you recommend anything in particular?
Yeah.
Elisha, breathwork saved my life after the Navy.
Amen. Amen. And I love you guys as well. Everybody that expressed love, I love you as well. And thank you all for your service, all of my amazing warriors out there. And so right, breath work is where it's at, man. Oh my God.
So please go to the link in the chat. I'm going to put it in one more time for the breathwork experience tomorrow that is going to literally take you to another level. Leland's going to take you to Mars. Leland and Michael, off to Mars we go. Hey, yo, Elon Musk, you wasted a lot of money, man.
Yeah, I know. He could have just joined us tomorrow, and I could have taken him to space.
Tell you what, you know, I mean, for real, like that's true. You guys, it has been an absolute pleasure today. Leland, you are just such an amazing example of being human. Thank you.
Thank you. And so are you. This has been amazing. Thank you for having me.
I love having you. Actually, what I'd like to do is have you and Michael Ronan back together.
There he is. There he is. What's up, brother?
I'd like to have you both back together for the next breath work that you're going to do. So you're doing one tomorrow, and then when is the next one scheduled?
So we will actually announce that tomorrow at our breath work, but we have 2 of them coming up that are going to be even more than what we're doing tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be a 45-minute breath experience. And then the next 2 following might even be an hour and a half to 2 hours. And we're talking like, let's go past Mars. Let's go to the Andromeda galaxy. Why not?
Yeah, I'm down. And if y'all are in Vegas, that's where Leland is at. So if you want to work with Leland, is Michael also in Vegas or no?
No, Michael is in Chicago, but we're both mobile, and tomorrow will be virtual anyways. But yeah, we got some big stuff coming up. We also have retreats and everything too, so you'll get to see both of us in person.
Okay, I love that. Well, but yeah, if you want to work with Leland in person, there you go. Elisha, let me put it in right now. Anybody that doesn't get the link, message me on Facebook. Message me either at Spirituality Gone Wild or message my personal page. You've got it right now. Breathwork with tapping. Yes, John is bringing up EFT, you know, and I agree. Any practice that works for a person, do that thing. If you're getting a better result than you were doing the other thing, then do the thing that you like. Do your preference.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that tapping, man, John, that tapping, yeah, it's real. I love my EFT for sure.
Well, you know, another thing about the EFT that's really cool, just want to throw this out there, is it helps your lymphatic system function better. Just saying, because right here is your lymphatic pump, And so when you're doing that, just thank you, John. And then you can get the lymphs moving in your body. You guys ever notice that? Did you notice that? Like the lymphs like starting to drain and move and stuff. It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
you could do that. You could do that on a jumpy jump too. I have a jumpy jump, like when the little thing, the trampolines. I call them a jumpy jump.
A jumpy jump. I thought that's what you meant.
It is what I meant. Deb doing your homework. Thank you, John. Thank you. I love you. I love you. All right. We are really going to say goodbye now. I hate to say goodbye because, Leland, it is just so fun to have you. Rebounder. Yes, Michael. Thank you. He's on it. On point. 100%.
Awesome.
That's it.
Awesome.
And Jody loves the jumpy jump. I'm serious. But the jumpy jump is great for lymphatic. I'm serious. Like,
yeah,
it's just and it's not hard to do, and it's kind of fun if you throw on a cool song or whatever and you just kind of bounce to it.
Go out to the beat. Yeah.
Just going bouncing and bouncing. All right, peace out, everybody. We love you. I will see everybody again at 1 o'clock, and please join me for a special cup of grata today at 2 o'clock. I have Sandra Sims who is coming, she's a modern day shaman and medicine woman. So this is going to be an extraordinary day today. I'm going to be on 3 times. And tomorrow morning, I am on Women Rising on Unify. And we have Jessica Alstrom, Quantum Fitness, and beautiful Jana, the Cooch Ball Girl. So girls, ladies, come get your cooch in check. Serious. It's called the Cooch Ball. I'm not playing. I'm serial.
Love it.
Yeah, it's just, I didn't make it up. She did. I can't wait to hear all about the Cooch Ball. I'm going to tell you what. So I'm going to end it with that. I love you.